I guess I'm going to call it the division of polynomials, but I'm going to show you a different technique to avoid using division, okay? Really, the purpose of division is to turn our cubic polynomial, which we don't know a lot about, into a quadratic polynomial, which we do know a little bit more about. So it reduces the power of the polynomial, and that enables us to write a cubic as a quadratic, which means then I can sort of complete the square, factorize, do a whole lot of other things with that. So two different methods I'm going to show you, okay? The first of these, if you like, I'll call the repeated factor method, okay? So what we do is, if we've got to divide by x minus 2, because the power of my polynomial is a 3, I'm going to write x minus 2 out 3 times. Because then what I'm going to do is look at this first term here, which is 2x cubed, and work out what number I need to put here so that I can multiply these two terms together and get that. So hopefully you'll realize if I put a 2x squared out the front, 2x squared times x is 2x cubed. And so that's that term there. And then 2x squared times negative 2 is minus 4x squared. All right. So point being, there's my 2x cubes. I've got the first term. Because then what I'm going to do is have a look at this negative 4x squared and then compare that to the negative 7x squared that I've got up there and say, okay, I've got negative 4. I need another negative 3x squared. So what do I multiply this x by to get negative 3x squared? Which in this case is going to be negative 3x. So now negative 3x times x is negative 3x squared. Negative 3x times negative 2 is positive 6x. Key thing is, if I add these two terms together, negative 4x squared minus 3x squared is negative 7x squared, and that matches off with my second term. So I do the same thing again. Here's my plus 6x. I've got to have plus 15, so I need another 9x's. So what do I multiply that x by to get another 9x? Well, it's just plus 9, isn't it? So if I multiply that out, I get 9x times negative, and then 9 times negative 2 is negative 18. Add these two terms together, I get 15x, which is what I've got there. Now here I've got negative 18. I'm meant to have negative 3, which means I have to add 15 to end up with negative 3, and that term there is my remainder. Okay, so now my answer, if you like, are each of these numbers in front of the bracket. So that means if I do, if you like, 2x cubed minus 7x squared plus 15x minus 3 divided by x minus 2, I end up with 2x squared, the number at the front there, minus 3x plus 9. Okay, so there's my quotient qx plus a remainder 15, which if you think about the remainder, it just simply means 15 has not been divided by anything yet. So we write that as plus 15 over x minus 2. All right, so that's what I end up with, and there's my remainder. All right, now I'll do the second method, which has got much less algebra and it's more a pattern that we use, and it's perfectly reasonable to use. So what I'm going to do, since I divide by x minus 2, okay, I'm going to put a positive 2 out the front, and I'm going to write the coefficient of each number, of each polynomial term. So 2, negative 7, positive 15, negative 3, okay? Okay, so the first term, I just bring that down, leading term down there. 2 times 2 is 4. Put the 4 there, add them together, I get -3. 2 times -3 is -6. Add them together, I get +9. 2 times 9 is 18. Add them together, I get 15. All right. So what each of these numbers mean now is that's my x squared term, that's my x term, there's my constant, and the last term there is the remainder. Okay, so you can see there, answer of 2x squared minus 3x plus 9 with a remainder of 15, which is yet to be divided by x minus 2. All right. Now the only restriction on this method here is it only works comfortably if I have a coefficient of x being 1 here. So we spoke earlier about a monic polynomial. Okay, so if my number inside the bracket is a 2x plus 1 or something like that, it's a little bit messier. We could still do it, but it's a little bit messier. Okay, so let's go have a look at another example. And again, we'll do both methods. All right, so again, let's do our repeated factor method first. So I've got x to the power of 4, x minus 2, so I'm going to write x minus 2 out 4 times. Okay, so let's start with, what do I multiply this x here by to end up with that term there? And I'm going to do 3x cubed. 3x cubed times x gives me 3x to the 4. -2 times that gives me minus 6x cubed. Now, so I've got my first term correct. I meant to have 0x cubes here, okay? But I've got -6, so I have to add 6 of them. And I'm going to have an x squared out the front so I can multiply to make it an x cubed. So multiply those together, I get plus 6x cubed minus 12x squared. So now these two terms give me 0x cubed, which is what I want. So I've got -12x squared. Have a look up here. I should have -9, so I have to add 3. And with an x, so that 3x times x gives me plus 3x squared. 3x times -2 is minus 6x. Again, -12 plus 3 is -9x squared. So that's good. I've got -6x. I'm meant to have 27 of them. So I've got to add 33. 33 times x is 66. Oops, my bad. Rub that out. 33 times x is in fact just 33x. 33 times -2 is minus 66. So these two terms give me, what do they give me? 27x, which is what I want. Now I've got -66. I'm meant to have -8. So I need to add, let's put a different color. I need to add another 58. And that's my remainder. Okay, so in blue at the front of my brackets, they're the polynomial terms. So I end up with 3x cubed plus 6x squared plus 3x plus 33 plus the remainder of 58. And we divide that by x minus 2 because I haven't divided x minus 2 into that term yet. All right. So that's our repeated factor method. That's the one that works most easily if I have a 2x plus 1 or a 3x minus 1 or something like that to divide by. All right. Let's use this second method here is actually called the Simplex Method. And if you Google that or YouTube, Khan Academy, there's a lot of examples of the Simplex Method on there. So again, I've got x minus 2 out the front, so I'm going to put a positive 2 there. And all the coefficients, 3. I've got 0x cubed, remember, negative 9, 27x, negative 8. Okay, so each time we just bring the first term down. All right, so if you like, we bring the first term down there. 2 times 3 is 6, so I put 6 there, add them together, I get 6. 2 times 6 is 12, add them together, I get 3. 2 by 3 is 6, add them together, I get 33. 2 33s are 66, add them together, and I get 58. So that means I get remainder units x squared cubed. So I get 3x cubed plus 6x squared plus 3x plus 33 plus my remainder, which is 58 over x minus 2. Okay. Now, there are other methods. So they're the two nicest methods, I think, to use, and they will work for you this year, next year, in any form where we need to divide polynomials. In class, I might show you the formal approach of doing division, which relates to using our long division process, and it's been a long time since any of us have done long division, but I think these are the best two methods to use. So let's get in there and have a go at them, okay?